What's good, guys? So in this video, we're gonna take a look at an already successful tool, a SaaS app that's making quite a bit of money every single month. And we are gonna see how we can design, architect, and ultimately build this kind of app using one of the no-code tools. So we're gonna have a full tutorial from the beginning to the end. So if you're interested in building no-code apps, you definitely want to watch this video until the end. And also, if you enjoy no-code, either you're somebody who just started with no-code, maybe you're intermediate, or you have been doing no-code for some time now, definitely smash the like on this video and make sure you leave a comment if you have any questions or concerns. All right, so having said that, let's get started. So one of my favorite sites to look at different projects, look to see what's happening out in the world, is called Hacker News. And if you're already familiar with the site, great. If you're not familiar with the site, you really want to familiarize with the site, because this is a site where you're going to be in check. You're going to be in tune as to what's happening in the tech world. And this is going to be super valuable for you, because you're going to know where the money is, what is some of the things that people are working on, what are the new projects that are happening, what kind of companies are making money, what kind of companies are not making money, what kind of companies are hiring, what kind of companies are letting their employees go. Things like that. So this is an important site. I visit the site a couple times a day, sometimes even more. Sometimes I visit it like several times a day. But I visit the site at least once. So you definitely want to be familiar with the site, because you will realize that there's a lot of valuable gems on the site. So for instance, here is an article that's titled, Those Making $500 a Month on Side Projects in 2022 Show and Tell. And they do this every year, right? Previously asked in 2020. They also asked in 2021. So that they do this every year. And you can actually see what people are doing. You can actually see what is working, what is not working. And so this is awesome. Now, before I show you the kind of project we're going to be working on today, I want to bring to your attention another site. This is called Indie Hackers. It's indiehackers.com. And they have a section called Interviews with indie hackers. And essentially this is also where people talk about different projects, how they make, this person is making 88,000 a month, this person is doing how reinventing spreadsheets got me to 4,000 customers in under a year. So this is another really good site, kind of similar to Hacker News. So it's a good idea for you guys if you want to make money with a software, no code or otherwise. You want to be familiar with these sites, because they're going to be super useful. And even if you're not like actively working on something, you still want to familiarize with these sites, because they're going to keep your mind flowing, keep the ideas flowing, keep your juices flowing, so to speak. That will allow you to kind of have really good ideas. So that's some extra tips for you. Now let's go back to the site. This is Hacker News, and this is Those Making $500 a Month on Side Project. And this was approximately like 3 months ago. And you can actually find a lot of interesting projects. Now, what I like about this kind of article, this kind of information, is that you're going to find projects that are super simple, that are making a ton of money every single month. Now, I'm not saying, they're making millions of dollars like every month, but, there are projects making like, $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $2,000 a month, even $500 a month, that are super simple. They're that simple. And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. And so you can kind of go through this list. You can kind of see there's a lot of examples. There's a lot of people talking about their projects, and they have their websites, and you can kind of learn more. But I found a really interesting project that is that simple, that's very profitable. So if you find Bruzu, that's BRUZU.com. It's an API to generate images on the fly, okay? So what exactly is this? Well, if we go to the website, this is what the website looks like. And if you send this URL, you can essentially get an image back. So take a look at this. I'm going to take this example here, and I'm going to paste it here. And this is what I get. Okay, it's an image, right? I can save it. Look at this. I can open, it's an image. I can save it as an image. It's not, it's not HTML, right? And this is awesome because, images are very useful. Take a look at this one, right? There's all of these images, right? And there's like, you can take a look at templates. And what are these images are for? Well, maybe it's for social media, right? For Twitter, for Instagram, for Facebook. They are, they need an image. So without you going, to Photoshop or some other image editing tool, you can use a website that automatically generates an image. And this is great because it's doing something so simple, but very powerful. And it's always these tools that are very, very simple, converting text to image or converting image to text or converting spreadsheets to, spreadsheets to websites or websites to spreadsheets. These are the most interesting tools, and these are going to be very, very easy tools to market, and they're going to be very profitable as well. Now, I read somewhere at one point this person was making like $3,000 a month. They're probably making a lot more right now. But from what I heard, they're making like $3,000 a month. So we're going to go with that figure because that is what I have heard, and this is what I have read. I don't know how much they're making right now. This was some time ago. They're probably making a lot more, right? Because take a look at all these templates, right? Discover templates, choose from these ready-to-use designs. All these templates are free to use. And so let's talk a little bit more about the kind of the side that has. Let's talk about the functionality, right? The first functionality is that you can automate image production, right? Generate tons of image variants with API and no-code integrations. They even have a no-code integration, okay? We're not going to be integrating with this tool. We're going to be talking about how to build this tool, right? That is kind of what we're going to be talking about. And so I take this and I put it here and I do that. Now I can modify, I can change it. Look, I'm specifying the background. I'm specifying the height, I'm specifying the width, I'm specifying the type, I'm specifying text, font family, font weight. I have a lot of these options, right? I have a lot of these options that I can do. I have templates. Let's go into pricing. Let's see what the pricing is about. $19 a month, really good plan. I'm glad he's not doing like $5 a month or $10 a month, something so low. This is a good starter plan. $19 a month, 1,000 API, credit, email support, or you can do $49 a month. Or you can do $99 a month. You have a free trial, 100 API credits, no credit card required. So this is all great. This is a great pricing page. This is a great sales page. This product kind of sells itself, right? Because you can kind of start. Look, I can create a new design. And there's like a little wizard also, right? I can open in an API sandbox. Or I can generate images with a form. So I can come in here and I can, add an image, download this image. I can do colors, images, right there. I can do all of these, great things there, right? All kinds of interesting things. And I can do that. So I can select the size. Let's say we're doing a Instagram post. Okay, and I have a background image URL. Image opacity is 1. And that's kind of what we have. So I can do something like this. There's a lot of interesting things. We don't have to worry about this, right? We don't have to worry about forms or elements right now. All we're going to be focusing right now is on the basics, right? So if I go into Bruzu, we're talking about, giving a URL. We're not even going to do an API or anything like that. That's for later, okay? We just have an idea where you give a URL, meaning like you send a request and you get an image back with kind of what you wanted to do. All right, that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. Now, before we start building this app and kind of showing you the architecture and kind of the flow, let's get back to our main kind of screen here. And let's talk about the business purpose. This is super, super important. So if I take this right here and I copy it, and maybe I make it a little bit smaller, all right, something like this, and maybe I change the color so it's more visible. We need a business purpose. The business purpose is simple. Turn your messages, your text messages into images. That's it. It's one of the easiest business purposes, and it passes the 30-second elevator test, right? So you guys know about the 30-second elevator pitch test. That is if you meet like maybe a rich investor in an elevator, you have something like 30 seconds or maybe even less to pitch an idea for them, right? If you're looking for money. And even if you're not looking for money, it's always a good test to constantly think whenever you're building a company, whenever you're building products. Can you explain this to somebody within like 15 to 20 to 30 seconds? Okay, you must be able to do that. There's also something called the grandma test, right? Meaning being able to explain this to your grandma. Can you explain this to your grandma? I definitely can, and I definitely could explain this to an investor on an elevator within 20 to 30 seconds. It's just this simple. Now we have views, we have models, and we have logic. Now for the views, well, let's talk about the views. What do we have the view? Let's copy this. The views, well, we're going to start with a very, very simple view, and that's going to display the image. That's it. We're not going to have the form, so there's this form. We're not going to do that right now. That's just too fancy. The only view we're going to have is this view right here, the result. Okay, so I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to say result. That's it. We just have one view, okay? You can create an account view. Yeah, maybe we'll have an account view. So like if somebody signs up, right, we're going to be charging them something, right? We're going to check that they have the right key and they have enough credits, they purchased enough credits. We're going to give them an account view or a profile view, okay? But really all we need is the result view. This is kind of the image view, image result view, something like this, all right? Now, what are the models? The models are the database. That's the underlying storage. The only model right now that we really need is users, paid users, paying users, because these people, pay, right? This is how we make money. So we need a model for them. We need an entity for them. That's it. Nothing else. Now we have the logic. Here is where we're going to go back to this tool here, and we're going to create our flow. Okay, so what is our flow going to look like? Okay, so this is the first kind of element. This is where we send the request. So we are sending a request through a URL, right? So this is going to be a GET request, get HTTP or HTTP GET request, right? And what is an HTTP GET request? Well, if you're not sure, this is kind of what it looks like. It's this thing right here. It's in the URL, right? Whenever you enter a URL like news.com, google.com, cnn.com, whatever, you're executing a GET HTTP request to the server. You guys got to know this stuff. It's kind of basic, but you guys got to understand that. So everything begins with a request, okay? Next, we have a connection here, and we're going to have another kind of entity here. And this is where we have the processing. We're gonna process the request, and we're gonna create an image. Okay, this is like the first step, right? And so we're gonna take the parameters that the user is sending, right? We're gonna go back here. We're gonna take a parameters, and we want to specify maybe the color, the height and width, the type. So the type, we're gonna have just a text box. Okay, later on we can have all these different shapes. In the beginning, it's just gonna be text. So we don't even need this parameter. And then text, and that's it. So color, background color, height, width in pixels, and then the text. That's it. And then we're not gonna even specify the font and the weight. Whether it's bold or not bold. We're not gonna be doing that. We're gonna keep it super simple for now. That's kind of what we're going to be doing. So what we're going to go back here is we're going to go to our tool, and we are going to parse the request, right? So when we're doing it, right, if you go in here, we're going to parse the request, and then we're going to have the right data, right? We're going to parse the request, the GET request, right? All right. Once we have that, we're going to generate an image with it, right? So we're going to have another one here, generate image. All right. And that's it. That's all we got to do. So that is kind of the flow that we have. Okay, that is kind of the flow that we have here. We're going to process the request. We're going to parse the request, the get request, and we're going to generate the image. Then we're going to display the image in the view. Okay, very simple. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have this right here. We're going to come this right here. And we are going to display the image in the result image view, or whatever that view is called. Now, the other thing that we need to do is very, very important, is before we generate the image, we need to charge the user, right? Remember, this is going to be a paid tool. So we're going to have a thing right here. We are going to charge the user's credits. So if they don't have enough credits, we're not going to generate the image, right? We're charging them. It costs us to generate the image, and we're taking it from their credits. All right, so something like this. There we go. So instead of being it directly like this, we need to charge the user's credit. And that's kind of all we have to do. Now, what is the hard thing here? Where is going to be the challenge, you know, if you're going to be building this app using like Bubble or anything like that? Is it going to be here? No, it's not going to be here. Is it going to be here? No, it's not going to be here. Is it going to be here? No, it's not going to be in parsing the request, because that's all taken care of. Is it going to be here? No, it's also not going to be here. And if the user has enough credit, meaning their balance is not negative, we can go in here. So that's all very, very easy. The hard part, the challenge, I don't want to say the hard part. The challenge here with this app is going to be generating the image. Okay? So if you are using a tool like Bubble, it's going to be using some third-party tool. Maybe you are going to connect using, you know, a REST API call to somewhere else. Maybe you're going to connect to a service that generates an image for you and gives you back an image, gives you back the URL of an image that you can display it here. Okay, so that's one thing. So let's do that. All right, so this could be a service right here. Third-party XML service. Okay, that's one way to look at it. So we're going to have a connector that brings it back here, and then finally that displays it. Maybe this is going to be a plugin. So let me make this different color. Maybe this is going to be a plugin. Okay, plugin right here. So we're going to come in here. We come in here. This plugin is going to generate an image for us. It's completely possible. These typically in Bubble and in general, these are going to be the two main options. It's going to be either a third-party XML, third-party REST API service, or it's going to be a plugin. It's always going to be one or the other. All right, so now we're going to go in here. There we go. So it's going to be one or the other, okay? It's really up to you, and that depends on the availability, right? If there's a third-party REST API and it's free, or they have a generous free plan, or it's very, very cheap, where you can purchase this but still make enough money with your tool, you can use that. If there's going to be a plugin, or you can code a plugin, or you can hire a plugin to kind of do it for you, then there's an option there as well. So it's all about, you know, which is going to be available, which is going to be easier to implement. But that is the flow that you are looking for in order to generate something like this. And we're not even talking about, you know, having all these extra features, not templates and, you know, all these extra features. We're talking about something very, very simple, because that's going to be something called an MVP, right? If you go back here, we're designing an MVP. MVP stands for minimal viable product. This is our initial revision, 0.001 revision of the product we're looking to build. So just to kind of highlight this flow, just to kind of confirm it with you guys, we're going to be sending a request. We're going to process the request. We're going to parse the request, get the parameters. Okay, we're going to charge the user's credit, right? If it's one credit for one image, we're going to subtract it from, you know, the total amount of credits they have. We're going to generate an image. And then this is kind of the main section here, the main kind of module here. But we still need the logic for actually generating the image, which is kind of the main part here. And that's going to be accomplished using a plugin or a third-party REST API, depending on which is more available and which is easier to implement. There's a plugin, we can do that. If there's a third-party API, we can do that. If not, maybe writing a plugin is more economical than writing a third-party API or something like that. We're gonna get back the result, and we're gonna display the image for the user, and that's how you do it. That's how you build a tool that makes $3,000 a month. And as you get more and more users paying, $20 a month, $30 a month, $50 a month, you're going to be making a lot more money with this tool. And that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. And like I said, it doesn't matter which tool you pick. You can do Bubble, you can do Appgyver, you can use any tool that you want. It's really, really up to you. The point here is that you need to understand this whole flow, and you need to understand this whole flow, right? We covered the logic, we covered the model, we covered the views, and we covered the business purpose, right? You got to always start with the business purpose, because it doesn't matter if you have the most amazing app, the most, the best engineered app in the world. If there's no need for it, and there's no paying customers for it, who are looking to have a problem solved, you're not going to make any money. All right, guys, so I really hope you found this video valuable. If you did, give this video a fat like. I would highly appreciate that. Leave me a comment below. Let me know if you like this video or if you didn't like it, or you just want to share maybe a thought or some kind of a comment. That's highly appreciative. And also, if you guys like NoCode, you want to learn more about ways of building apps, of making money without writing a single line of code, then you definitely want to subscribe to this channel, because on this channel, all we do is talk about NoCode. All right, so thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will talk to you real soon.